guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to do a Q&A on cabin crew, flight attendants, our job, lifestyle. I get quite a lot of questions since I've started this job on Instagram, not so much on YouTube, but I know a lot of people from Instagram do watch my videos. So I just thought I'd do a Q&A, and also if you're looking to apply to this job or maybe you've just started, it might be something that you're interested in to see if the job's right for you, or give you an idea of what's coming up if you are quite new. So if you are new to my channel, don't forget to click subscribe. The button is just below this video, and obviously if you guys do enjoy it, don't forget to give it a like. And if you've got any more questions, just comment them below the video. I just wanted to say that if you guys have an idea of how long I've been flying, I got my wings in November, and it's now the end of March, so it's been about 5 months. And I started my training at the beginning of October. So the training for the airline that I work for is 5 weeks. And then once you've passed all of your exams and your practicals, you then get your wings. And I am based out of Gatwick in London, so I do long haul and short haul. So for my long haul, I'm on the 777, and for short haul, I'm on the A320 or A319 or the A321, but I haven't actually rarely been on that. So our short haul planes are a lot smaller obviously than the long haul planes, and each month my roster is a mix of short haul and long haul, but normally we get a mix. So let's get into the questions. Do I do long haul and short haul? I've already kind of answered that, is yes. And where I personally fly for long haul is the Caribbean, so like Barbados, Jamaica, Antigua, St. Lucia, those type of places. South Africa, Cape Town, and then America, so parts of Florida like Tampa, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and then we go to like Vegas. I'm trying to think, we go to Mauritius, the Maldives, yeah, loads of different places. You can look it up if you want to out of go. Actually, I haven't said what airline I work for, but you can probably tell from my other videos and my Instagram. So can we pick what flights we do? No, well, kind of. Basically, we can bid each month. So right now I'm about to submit my bids for May, and my roster for May will be published on the 13th of April. So I bid now. We have like a point system, so I put in order of like what flights I want. Or I don't even have to like bid for specific destinations. I could bid for like 5-day trips or 3-day trips. I could bid for all short haul. I could bid to have weekends off. I could bid to have a particular day off. So yeah, it literally all varies, and you can bid. And normally per month so far since I've been working here, I've got 2 of my bids. So like this month, for example, in April, I've got a Cancun. And then I also bid for a 4-day Barbados, and I got that as well. So it varies. You can sort of pick what you want. Now the question was, what do we eat on the plane? So we eat what food is left over, and that can be from first class or club, so business class, or world traveller, if there's any left. But we are also supplied with crew food, but that's obviously like, we don't have to eat that. If there's other food left over, we can eat that instead. And I normally bring my own food on the way out for long haul. And on short haul, most of the time I bring my own food. On short haul, they do supply us with like these trays with like sandwiches, crisps, chocolate bar, but it's really unhealthy. So as you know, my channel is like a fitness channel. I am a personal trainer, so I do still eat well, and I try and avoid plain food because it is full of salt and fats. But it is really, really hard on a night flight on the way back from wherever we've been. And you're trying to stay awake, and there's like chocolate around you that's just lying there, or sweets. Yeah, so I do try my best, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that good at not eating the plain food, because some of it is really yummy as well. Like some of their desserts are really good. But I am obviously really good with my exercise, and I do train en route, and I do train here. So is our food, travel and hotel paid for by the airline? Yes, our hotel is paid by the airline, and our breakfast is paid by the airline when we're abroad, except for America. I don't know why, we don't get free breakfast in America. And we get 20% off normally, 20% off all the food in the hotel and drinks, not alcoholic drinks. And then, as I said, on the plane we get crew food. So yeah, that's basically the deal with food and accommodation. How long is our training? My training was 5 weeks for the airline, and 1 week to get my flying license. So the first week was to get my flying license, which wasn't to do with the airline at all. And then once I'd got that, I then started the training for the airline. So you kind of learn the specific things of how, I don't know, like how my airline carries out an evacuation procedure in a fire is going to be different to another airline. So you learn more specific stuff on that 5 weeks. How to apply, and is it hard to get in? So with my airline, I just Googled it, and then I had to pass an online psychometric test thing, which took 35 minutes. And then 2 days later I got an email saying I'd passed and I was invited for an interview or an assessment day, because it's a whole day. And then on the day, which was like 2 months later, and then on that day I had a presentation about the airline and the job. Then we did a group exercise. Then I did a role play, which was just with one assessor, and I had to she just threw scenarios at me like it was on a plane, and then I had to read from a script like, this is your flight from London Heathrow to New York, and then like, you know, sorry for the delay today. Like, you had to read the script. They wanted, I think, to see how you speak, basically. Then we were all had to wait for ages, and then we were split into 2 groups, taken to 2 rooms, and I was in the room that they said, you've passed this stage and now you've got another interview. The other half went home. I think there were about 8 of us left, and then we went for an interview, which was about 20 minutes long. And then I had to wait 2 months after that to find out I'd got the job. And there were only 3 of us from that day that had got the job, which, yeah, so it is quite hard to get the job. We were told on the day that about 30,000 people apply a year and only a few thousand get the job. So I do know it is hard actually to get the job for this airline. I don't know what it's like for other airlines. So that was in April, end of April last year I found out. And then they had to do background checks, reference checks for 5 years. And that's the longest process. That took 6 months. And I was put on a course in October last year. So the whole process back to back takes about 8 months when you apply. So don't just quit your job as soon as you apply, or if you want to work for this airline instantly, it's not going to happen because it takes ages. And it must take a while in other airlines because background checks take ages, and they have to, because you are like, you know, you're on airside, you're right next to aeroplanes. You could be like a terrorist, so there's so many things they have to check. And then obviously you have to pass all your training as well, and that is really, really hard. I'd say probably one of the hardest things I've done, just because it was so intense and I was just exhausted. Like, we hardly had any days off, and when we did, we were revising. Everything we learned, we then had an exam on the next day, so you literally went back to your hotel room, which my airline did pay for our hotel, and I was just revising. Yeah, it's just a lot to remember. You think cabin crew, like air hostesses or stewards, that you don't need to know a lot, but there is a lot of things you need to know. Mainly with my airline, they really focus on safety, so there was a lot on like emergency procedures and fire drills and all of that sort of stuff. It's just a lot to remember. And then also doing aviation medicine, so like, you know, we have to learn how to deal with everything. Literally, like giving birth, heart attacks, diabetic comas, anything, like CPR on a baby, CPR on an adult, someone choking on their food. Like, you know, if you're at 35,000 feet and something happens, we are the people who kind of need to take control. So yeah, it was hard, I would say. So another question was, do we get to rest on the plane? Yes, we do. We do have, not on short haul, we don't really get rest, which can be really exhausting when you're going to like the Canary Islands, which is a 5-hour flight there, and then you have an hour turnover, then a 5-hour flight back, so it is like an 11-hour day and you don't get any breaks. I mean, once the passengers are all served, technically you can sit down and have something to eat, but that's not really an official break. On long haul we have official breaks, anything from an hour and a half to 3 hours. I've never had, I think the longest break I've had is 3.5 hours, and that was to Mauritius because the flight was 12 hours. On some flights we have bunks, so we can go up and sleep on like a bed. I'm making that sound really nice. It's not a nice bed, it's like a tiny little coffin thing that you have to climb into, and it's very small and claustrophobic. And then some aircraft we don't, so we have crew rest seats at the back of the plane where we can put a curtain around us, or we have to go by a door on one of the fold down seats and put a curtain around us, which is awful because it's freezing cold by the doors and you can't recline your seat, so you're literally upright like this for an hour and a half. I mean, an example was I've just done Tampa to Florida, so we had 2-hour break and I was on the crew rest seat. And then it's obviously split, not all the crew goes on their break at the same time, depending on your position. So we all have like different positions and roles and responsibilities on the plane. So that's kind of how it works. Do we get many days off? Yes, this is probably the most days off I think that most jobs get. I feel like I have a lot of days off. The minimum we have to have is 9 a month, which is the same as any normal job. But then they don't count days off for the day that you land. So like when I come back from a long haul, we always land in the morning, and like from Mauritius we land at 6:30, so I'm home by 8:30, and then I've got the rest of the day off and evening, and I normally sleep for a few hours, then I've got the afternoon off, but that's not counted as a day off because I'm on duty that morning, so it is quite good. And then you always get like 3 days off or 2 days off after that. And my example is my April roster, I've got 13 days off, so yeah, compared to like most jobs where you get 8 or 9 days off, I think it's pretty good. And then also we have home standby, and when I'm on home standby and not called, to me that's like a day off, because I'm like, well, I'm just at home all day, not really doing anything, and I'm getting paid, so that's how days off work. Another question was about pay. So we have a basic pay, which is really low. It's like 13,000 a year, and that's just what we get regardless. Then we get something called allowances, and that's what we get paid per hour when we go to work. So as soon as I tap in at work, I'm getting paid £3 an hour till the point that I check out when I get back, or we clear, basically they call it. So an example could be when I go on a 5-day Mauritius, I get £250 because I'm away for 5 days, and that's every hour I'm getting £3 an hour from the point I check in to when I get back, and that's on top of my basic. And then we also get commission, so on all the duty-free sales we do on the plane, and on short haul, all the buy on board. So we sell Marks and Spencer's food on our short hauls, and we get commission from that. It's obviously split between the whole crew, and it's only like 10%, so it's tiny. Like on long haul, we normally only make about 50p per person on duty-free commission, and then on short haul we normally make anything from like £5 to £15 commission, because it depends time of day, where we're going, like if it's a party route and people are buying alcohol, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, those are the 3 ways that we get paid. And obviously we get like holiday pay and stuff like that. And then we also get bonuses. So like if our airline does well and makes a profit, we get a small bonus as well. But it is taxed, so it's not actually that much. It's not the highest of incomes. It's hard, and I'm finding it really tough to adjust to at the moment because I am new as well. But I kind of think it's worth it for the job. At the moment I'm happy, and I will happily scrape by because I'm enjoying it. But I do obviously want to pursue this social media and my personal training as well, just for that like extra income. But yeah, that's how the pay works. So another question that was from Instagram was the pros and cons of the job. So the pros are definitely travelling, seeing the world, like the free hotels, being able to add people on my staff travel and take people away, like, you know, at really cheap prices. People on my staff travel get 90% off the ticket price, and then they just pay tax. They can also get upgrades. They can come away with me, stay in my hotel for free. And also just working with the people. Like, I absolutely love crew because we all have similar personality types, you know, the airlines look for a type, so the airline I'm in is obviously going to look for a similar type of person. They all tend to be great fun. You have great fun down route, you know, going out for drinks and stuff. And for example, when I went to Jamaica the other week, we hired a minibus and went, you know, the other side of Jamaica and jumping in waterfalls and swimming, and like a great fun day out. Also, just I quite like having weekdays off. I really don't like, I've never had a job where you just have weekends off, so I really enjoy having weekdays off. Like things like going to the doctors or the dentist, or just having days off when everyone else is at work and you can get stuff done. You could go to a place that is normally packed on weekends and just go on a weekday. Yeah, I quite like that, like knowing that everyone else is at work and I'm just chilling at home. And the cons would be early starts, like for short haul, oh my god, some of the reports are so early. I'm not a morning person. Tiredness on the night flight, I find it so hard to stay awake on the night flights home, and my eyes are just like so red. The time change can also be really hard for people, you know, if it's 5 hours back or 4 hours forward in Mauritius is really hard. You know, like you wake up at 8 in the morning English time, and that's already midday in Mauritius. You have to like force yourself to get up so early, and you're just like, ugh. And you're tired from the flight as well, because Mauritius is a 12-hour flight. I can't think of any other negatives. Or the pay. Maybe the pay is not the best. Yeah, and some airlines just do things that they're not supposed to do, and it's just a little bit annoying sometimes. Those are the main cons I can think of. Next question I had for someone's, have you ever had to make an emergency landing? No, I haven't. We've had to abort a landing and do a go around, and we had to divert to Lyon. We were meant to land at Geneva. We couldn't land, it was too unsafe, and there was loads of turbulence. I was sick. It was horrible. We were going up, down, side to side. We basically hit crosswinds, and there were like 2 storms like that. We basically were in the middle, and we were being thrown about, so we couldn't land. It wasn't safe enough. I've had really bad turbulence, so severe turbulence as well on long haul, but never had to make an emergency landing, and hopefully I won't have to. Someone else asked me, why did I choose this profession? Just because they said it was quite random. I was a model for 6 years, personal trainer for 2, so I've been self-employed all my career. I bought this flat last year, so I now have a lot of bills to pay every month. And basically, being self-employed, I just couldn't pay my bills every month, and I needed to get a job to get my own like proper mortgage. It's quite complicated what I've done, and I needed to get a job, and then like a job that has a consistent income. And I was thinking, I don't want to work in an office, I don't want to do a Monday to Friday, I don't want to like live for the weekends, dread Sunday nights. And I thought, what could I do? And then my dad was a captain for the airline that I work for, and my mum was a stewardess as well for that airline. And since I was born, I've been on staff travel, so I've travelled loads with my dad with this airline. So I know what crew are like. I know what people do down route, aka have fun. I know what the plane's like, what the service. I just knew a lot about this airline. I thought, oh, I could give cabin crew a go, see what it's like. So thought, have a look, apply, and I didn't really want to work for any other airline, and yeah, that's how I am here today. So that's why I am doing this job. Someone asked me what my favourite trip so far is. So I haven't actually done all the routes that there are. Like I really want to do Maldives, I really want to do Cape Town, South Africa. I have a feeling that they might become my favourite trip. So far it's actually been not so much the destination, but it depends on what crew I get with me. So I did a Mauritius, and it was so much fun. Like we hired a car, went around the island, went to a volcano, waterfalls, beaches, and then the next day we went to an all-inclusive for the day, and were just drinking, eating on the beach, in the pool. Had really fun nights out there, made friends with some people. So that was a really good trip. I also really enjoyed, I did a Jamaica the other week, and again we just had a great crew, so did a lot of stuff, had a lot of fun. So yeah, I don't actually know so far. I also really like Barbados just because of the fact that the hotel is like on a really nice beach. But then, and I like the hotel, but then I am going to Cancun next week. So I don't know if I'm going to really like Cancun. So it also depends on the passengers on the flight. If they're really difficult passengers on a flight, it can put you off going there. If it's like a really long one as well, you normally get a certain clientele on different flights. But yeah, I'm going to finish it there because I think that's enough questions for today. But if you guys have got any more, or you want me to do another Q&A, or you just think of something randomly, I can answer it in the comments below. So just pop the question in the comment below. I am also on Instagram if you want to keep updated with my weekly travels. I always do loads of stories when I'm away, lots of pictures of my travels. It's @_chloeinspires_. And if you are interested in personal training, having any online programs done for you, or macronutrient calorie profiling, drop me an email. It's chloeinspires.coaching@gmail.com. And last of all, if you're not subscribed already, click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to give the video a like, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!